Double
There
O.
we are.
What kind
I
of
feel like I
relation?
should have turned on my air conditioning before we start. It's really muggy. What's up, dude?
It's nice to see you.
You know, the last time we recorded, and this seems to be always like the preamble of the show is the last time we recorded.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, there. You mentioned that you got engaged.
I did. I had gotten engaged, and that has escalated. It's escalated to a full-blown marriage.
Yeah, I know. I was there.
You were there. Thank you for coming. I knew. So we did a thing where we didn't do a what's the party after?
Reception.
Yeah, we didn't do a reception. This is gonna be a great podcast. We didn't do a reception. We just wanted people to be there and then hang out a bit afterwards if they could. So yeah, it was like a 20-minute ceremony. I hope it wasn't too painful.
It was like a 15-minute ceremony,
Like a 15
and it wasn't too painful. There was concerns on my part growing up Catholic, because when you go to a wedding at a church, you're wondering, is this going to be a wedding or is it going to be a wedding and a mass? And it was a big church, and it was a really, really nice, amazing church. And I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, if you're going to get this place, you might as well go full-blown wedding and a mass and be there as long as you can. And there was a woman who came up before the ceremony and sat up on the altar. I'm like, okay, so she's going to be doing readings and we're going to get a mass. So I'm sitting there like buckling myself in for, you know, the next hour or so. And then the priest said that there was going to be 3 readings. And before I knew it, like 30 seconds later, he's like, okay, and now reading number 2. And I'm like, wait a second. The girl up on the altar is just monitoring the dress so Rosanna doesn't like trip over her gigantic, amazing wedding dress. And we're just getting just the wedding. And it was awesome. Listen, I would have been there for you the whole hour if it was also a mass. But it was between me and my sister, Stevie and Ed, we went. It was like, I think Kevin would be okay against having a mass, maybe. Like what do we think Kevin would do as far as being approached with if it's also a mass? And we're like, I don't think Kevin would do a mass, but it's not up to Kevin fully.
Yeah, I mean, I am very atheist,
yeah.
and she brought up the idea of doing a wedding in a church because her family would really like it. And I was like, oh, geez. Right. All right. She says, well, let me look at a couple of
churches.
And the first one, it's like, holy cow. I mean, it's gorgeous. And
that was the first church?
Yeah. First and only.
Yeah.
And church technology these days is great, because the lighting, when we went to check it out, it was all lit up in blue. But the gal who was showing us, it's all on the app. She can change she changes the color. She's like, or you can do this, and it's like red. Boom. It's changing colors like from her phone.
You didn't do yellow in honor of the show?
All right, let's do a wedding. I am kind of keeping an eye on over here. Ian Hart, who is more or less responsible for nudging us today. Welcome, Ian. He says hi. And Mark Vibbert, of course. Good morning, Mark. Thank you for joining us.
We're broadcasting. For those of you listening to this on your normal audio feeds, follow us at All Right Podcast on Facebook and Twitter, and you can watch this as we do it. And then also on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/casinoscout. So follow those and you'll know when we pop up, because it's definitely sporadic.
And anyway. We'll talk about that later. Definitely. But you like the music? I came out. I was like, okay, yeah. I'm coming out to music. I'm just him.
right.
I know it's not traditional, but come on.
And as soon as it started, we're like, all right, here we go. We were also speculating because we had to drive from Anaheim to Los Angeles. So there's a lot of chatting about what we were expecting out of a wedding involving Kevin. And of course, the number one thing is he's going to walk out to the themed Doctor Who. And I'm like, I guarantee you it's crossed his mind. but I'm like, I don't know if he's. Oh shit! Did you do blue because the chart is blue? Because the lighting was blue. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
hey,
listen,
it took me this long to figure it out. It took me this long to figure it out, and I'm sure. I mean, it's too late. You're already married. The ceremony happened. So,
if it's got to be a color, why not be a color that I have somewhat? Listen, the church, the whole idea of doing it at church was not my idea. So if I can get my stamp on it somewhere, I'm doing it.
Right. And then I guess I didn't really realize it because I just assumed that was the lighting of the church. I didn't know you had a choice in the matter. So now that I know you have a choice in the matter, okay. Yeah. I get it.
But yeah, I came out to the Ecstasy of Gold.
Mm-hmm.
And she came out to Mujeres Divinas, which is a classic Mexican song about how women are to be cherished and adored. And then when our recessional, when we left, it was the Matt Berry song, Take My Hand, which is the theme song for Toast of London, which is a very silly show. But the song itself is like, I think it's really beautiful. It's about taking a chance on getting together.
It was an instrumental version, though, right?
No. It was the music. It was the lyrics too.
Oh, I don't know, man. It was a lot. That was the only time I had my camera out was when you guys were coming down the aisle. I figured that the wedding photographers got really good shots. And but yeah, we were in the sort of backish row, and you're like coming down the aisle, and so I'm like, oh, I want to take a picture for me. And then so I didn't pay attention to the music too much. And you know me, I listen to film music. I don't know words to songs. I find out it's a weekly basis where I figure out the title of a song based on actually paying attention to the words. So, but I'm glad I got my one picture. I think it turned out all right.
Thank you, for making the trek. And like we said, there was no reception. We knew I tried to let you know, listen, it's just going to be this thing. I wish I had made a point to get you to stick around and we didn't get the picture together. I was kind of bummed about that.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't know. Like, it was weird because I felt like the majority of it was family. And I saw Brad and Athena, talked to them for a little bit. I saw David Willits and waved to. He said, "Hey, Ralph," and I waved to him, and it didn't even occur to me it was him because he looked so different from the last time I saw him, which was probably like, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Long hair. And then I as I was sitting there, I'm like, oh shit, there's probably more people here that know me than I know them because of this show.
Right.
Like, who are your friends, Josh and Jeremy?
Jake and Joe were there. Jeremy will never watch this, but Jeremy, you failed. Jeremy's wife and kid got COVID like 2 days before he was supposed to fly, or the day before he was supposed to fly out. So I was like, all right, well, there we go.
But yeah, so it's like, I felt weird. I'm like, oh shoot, there's probably people that know me more than I know them. But it was awesome. Did you see Bob Mitch? And I felt like I did see Bob. Okay, so let me tell you the story about the acoustics of this church. They're kind of amazing. So we see Bob come in. We're already seated in the church, and everyone's kind of settled in, and Bob comes in and sits across the way, and I catch his eye, and I just go, "Hey, Bob," like that. And it fucking echoed throughout the whole church. "Hey, Bob." And I'm like, oh no. And then he like looked up and like waved, and I was like, sorry, Bob. I didn't know I was I was mic'd up for maximum volume, but it was yes, I did see Bob. And I think I stood right behind Bob in the group picture that you took. I felt
I hope to get. Go ahead.
I felt a little overwhelmed because there's so many people there that I didn't know, and you guys were starting to take pictures and of like family and friends and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I feel weird. It just felt weird to me. I don't know.
I mean, you were
not that I didn't
welcome
feel,
to hang.
not that I felt like I didn't belong, but at the same time, I felt like, oh, I know like two people here, and one of them's busy being married, and so yeah, I just
But
kind
I
of
mean,
felt awkward.
Bob would have loved to talk to you about anything and everything. Rick would have loved to chat with you. But
Yeah,
I get it.
I
There's a
saw
lot
Rick
going on.
Yeah, it was yeah. And then we were kind of hungry too. We went over to Cantor's. First got some Rubens.
Speaking of the photographer, I'm hoping that I wanted a lot of candid shots, and I guess maybe I didn't say that, but the videographer too, he was like, so what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I kind of want this shot and this. And I didn't state what I thought were the basics, which is I wanted a lot of candid video of friends talking and having fun. And I don't know when we're going to get that footage, and I am going to get the raw footage, but I have a feeling he wasn't doing a whole lot of that. So I don't know. We'll see. And speaking of just spending money on people, the church required a wedding coordinator, and we were like, man, we're not doing a wedding party. We're not doing so it's going to be so simple. But they were like, yeah, we do. I mean, I'm assuming I understand where they're coming from, because I'm sure that they had a lot of situations where fuck here and there, and they needed a wedding coordinator. So they finally were like, fuck it, everybody needs a wedding coordinator. But I mean, I was like, I think I should walk down the street and hand $1,800 to the first person I see, because they did as much as the wedding coordinator did in our thing. Before I went to the entrance and I set up the guest book, and I set up the card box and some things. And the woman who was there at our church rep, she was like, what are you doing? Your coordinator should be doing this. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess. Well, I'm doing it.
So it wasn't like a sanctioned wedding coordinator from the church. You just needed a wedding coordinator.
Yeah, they have their recommended vendors, I believe, for a number of things, and we just looked for the cheapest one we could find.
I was gonna say, does a wedding coordinator need a specific like pamphlet that says I'm a wedding coordinator, like a license? Like you could just give it to me, and then I could have done, I guess, just giving you the money back.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm going to say there's no next time, but this is a cautionary tale for those of you getting married and need a wedding coordinator. I'll just talk to us. We'll do it.
That's right. We'll provide our documentation.
Yeah.
And then I guess to wrap up
something.
Right. Yeah. No problem.
Get a sash.
And then
I'll get a sash that says wedding coordinator.
Right. Then the next day we went to Paris for a week. We did the Eiffel Tower, we did the Louvre, did all the big things. The only thing that really bummed us out was like a couple of days before the catacombs canceled on us and refunded us. I was really looking forward to checking out the catacombs. I've heard a lot about it.
What happened? What happened? Ghosts?
I don't know, man. But we went there.
Demons?
Yeah, right. Demons have overtaken. I don't know. Our guess is they overbooked.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was a real bummer. I really wanted to do that. But, oh well. But yeah, Versailles. Versailles was beautiful, but inside there were so many people. There's so many people, and I was getting claustrophobic, just from room to room, just all of these people. And I turned to one of the workers in the corner. I was like, "Hey, what's the quickest way out of here?" And they said, "There is no quickest way out of here. You just got to follow the group around." I was like, "Okay, great."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was beautiful. As a vegetarian, I didn't find a whole lot of really decent food, and I got really frustrated. And at one point, I was like, I'm just gonna get a pizza. I'm gonna get a pizza. Everything's gonna be fine. And they put like blue cheese and shit on it. It was gross. It was no good. Did go to Disney Paris, which was fun. Right. The Phantom Manor, I think I like it better than the Haunted Mansion. It's shorter, but it's spookier, and that Phantom is scary. The Indiana Jones roller coaster is just a roller coaster. It's just a roller coaster. I don't even think they had the theme.
You would think you could do that at least.
Right. Yeah, but at least put the song in. Mark, thank you, Mark. I did we kept hearing these car sirens, the police sirens, the French, and I was like, what could I do with this if I find it? I was like, oh well shit, yeah, I'll be the Pink Panther, I'll be Inspector Clouseau. I did a little video, that was fun. Yeah, but a great time. Got back, we weren't even like, we expected to be really jet lagged, and we weren't. We reacclimated pretty well.
Cool. That's fun. I've never been there.
We did the Ratatouille ride. She was really excited about the Ratatouille ride.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that movie. I think it's still my favorite Pixar movie. I don't know.
It's fun. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. Like all the Toy Stories are great. You like them better than all the Toy Stories?
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about it. I think it's a little less conventional. I don't know. Yeah. It's weird. It's just a preference. I don't know. Better than Incredibles. I like it more than Coco, which is probably my second favorite. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. Definitely better than Up, which is Riley's favorite. Yeah, it's super controversial.
Now, is it your least favorite, or is because everything else is so great? Or
I just
dislike.
I just don't care. I just don't care for it. The first 10 minutes is great. It's wonderful, and it makes me cry every time. The rest of the movie with dogs who can fly airplanes and all that nonsense, I just can't get into. I can't get into that tonal whiplash of that movie. And I understand that it's a giant adventure, but the real adventure is marriage. But it's like, dude, I'm not about these flying dogs. It's just not my thing. I don't know. I'm in the minority.
Sonny did this. They did an episode where they were in a convenience store, and the convenience store is getting robbed, and each one of them tries to figure out in their head. There's like a few-minute story where they're imagining how they're going to get out of this situation, and somehow Charlie's ends up into his version of Up. He I don't know. I don't remember exactly how it starts, but it's Up, and it's hilarious and cute and funny.
I've never seen an episode.
It's kind of rough to start.
Every show is, though. I feel like every show is. And I think I've accepted it. I feel like the pilot is always weird. And then the rest is. I mean, obviously, Sonny has been on for how many seasons? Probably 11 or something
15,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, something's right. It's just, I'm sure, hey, everybody watched it from scratch from the very beginning, and it worked out just fine for them. So I'm sure if I watch it from the beginning, it'll work out fine for me as well. So
I think one of the main criticisms you hear about Sonny is it's just a bunch of people yelling at each other, and they're not super wrong, but it's funny.
Yeah, that's the thing is I hear Charlie Day's voice, and it's like, okay, I can. It's he sounds like he's in the church acoustics all the time. Like his voice is so projected, but I like him in Pacific Rim movies, and I liked him in Lego Movie.
Tell you what, there's been a whole lot of Kevin talk Is there any talk about Ralph you want to go over? Obviously, you've got that
Not
Star Wars
lot.
podcast that you're doing with the fellow from across the pond.
With James. Live action Star Wars, which I lost all the files. And I've been doing Cue the Music. I brought that back from the ashes, which has been going great. But yeah, my hard drive broke last week. Luckily, all my all right, let's do a podcast stuff is salvaged. So I was able to make sure my background was all set and the thumbnail artwork and stuff was good to go. But
so that's what you mean, like your assets that you take to build every episode?
Yeah, so like for live action Star Wars, I think I still have all the templates I used for thumbnails. I had to recreate some for my Patreon shows, but yeah, I mean all the episodes that we recorded, all the raw video files and all that stuff is all gone. Well, not gone. It's just on a hard drive that's not connecting to my computer. So I can go recover it, I'm sure, somewhere. I just need to do that. But luckily everything on our end is good. I have all our recordings and artwork and stuff. So I was able to do the thumbnail artwork for this show because I still have that template. And yeah, that was bad. I had a kidney stone last week. That was bad. And then some other things. It's been a crazy week for me.
Was the kidney stone as bad as they say?
This is my second one. I think the last time was worse. But it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's been 6 years, so I'm okay.
So I've never had one, but it just eventually makes its way through your little fella, and you know it's done when it's done.
Well, yeah. So really, the pain comes from when, like, it's the size of a grain of sand or smaller. It's super tiny, and you could feel it in your actual kidney, in your back. Your back feels sore on your kidneys, and when it's moving through there, that's when it really sucks. And that's what happened last time. And then you just pee it out. It's so tiny, you probably won't even notice. This time I had it the night before. I could feel it in my back. It woke me up. I'm like, oh, it's a kidney stone. Drink water, lemon juice, water, lemon juice. But then the next night, that guy was big enough to feel coming out. So, it wasn't really that rough, but it surprised me for sure because I saw it come out. And you don't. There's only maybe two things you want to see come out of there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was super. I mean, it's super tiny.
But you physically saw it?
I retrieved it. I saw it.
Oh wow.
This is a bit much. I was in the shower and I felt discomfort, and I relieved that discomfort, and it landed at my feet. Okay. So, all right. So it was rinsed off, and I have a picture of it, and I could probably share it on the screen, given enough time. But it literally is like, imagine a grain of sand this big that looks like a pork chop. It's just a little tiny itsy bitsy grain of sand, really small, but enough to like make your whole body aware that there's something that doesn't belong. And so,
sure.
That there was the last week was that, and then I had something else going on in my personal life that I was like, that was going on too. And then I recorded something like 3 podcasts. I was like, last week was crazy. Since our last recording, nothing really crazy until last week. So I've had nothing really new to report in my life as far as that goes. Yeah. Except for the last week.
Since we're touching on it,
everything.
Since we're talking about Star Wars just a little bit, just the fact that you have another show and one of many, but I want to talk a little bit about Obi-Wan, and I'm sorry if you already went over this, but there are a couple of things that bothered me.
Okay.
Let me tell you the thing that I fucking love was every time Obi-Wan and Vader had a fight. Their first
They're good
lightsaber
lightsaber
fight,
battles. They're really good.
oh my God. And you know why? It's because they were not dancing. They were fucking fighting. They wanted to kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
I loved.
Yeah.
The things that really kind of stuck with me, and maybe these are anyway. Leia, Obi-Wan's getting ready to take off. Listen, I gotta take off. I might not come back. No, she's covering this huge fucking deal. I don't want you to go. Well, I know but I have to. And he comes back. He made it. He's alive. Hey, I'm back. Oh, hey, you're back. My doll. It's like there's
All right.
I would. There's a balance between don't leave, oh, you're back, and they are not equal.
Okay.
That's one of the things.
All right.
But also, when Vader and Obi-Wan are fighting for the second time, they're going at it. Fucking fight.
Throwing rocks.
Obi-Wan's in the hole. Down. And Vader's like, yeah, he's probably dead. I'm going to leave now. It's like, wait a second. This is the guy that tortured you as a youngling or whatever. He wants to see that fucking dead body of Obi-Wan in my head. And you can't.
That's my main issue with Star Wars right now. Stop going backwards in the timeline, because now you have to tap dance about how Obi-Wan's still alive in Episode 4.
Yeah,
I would love
to see another season, but it can't be about Vader.
No, I'm done. No more Obi-Wan. You did it. Good. Move on. Do something different.
They can do Darth Maul.
No, stop. He's done. He's dead.
Okay. All right.
We're done.
Well, no, he's not dead though, because he's in Solo.
Well, the TV show Rebels takes place after Solo, and spoiler alert: Obi-Wan kills Darth Maul again.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, but so this Cassian Andor show, Star Wars posted the trailer for it, and so I responded as live action Star Wars. I hope you don't kill him off. And that was it. I'm so sick of knowing people's fates before the new show lands. I mean, I guess Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian are good because we don't know. We thought we knew that Boba Fett died, but he didn't. So that's good. That's left open. And Mandalorian, we don't know the fate of him or Baby Yoda or any of that. So the Obi-Wan series and the Andor one, I'm like, I know when they die, and it's not going to be in the show. So I'm looking forward to like more like the Ahsoka show, because she's an open book. We don't know, that stuff. So yeah, I liked Obi-Wan, but at the same time, I was like, I know what happens. But I was entertained for 6 weeks or whatever it was, and I just want a new Star Wars movie. That's all I really want. The shows are fine, but I'm not the biggest TV guy. Like there's a new Game of Thrones last night. I've never watched an episode of Game of Thrones.
It was never really my thing.
I mean, I just finished binging Night Court this week because I feel like watching Night Court, I don't know. I think the only show that's current that I'm like way super invested in that it cannot get enough of is the Orville. And I don't know, are you caught up on the Orville? Have you finished?
I'm not caught up.
3?
It's because when I'm watching TV alone, it's just because that's how I'm programmed now, where I'll be on TV and my phone at the same time. And that's a show I want to pay 100% attention to.
Yeah.
And I've seen the first episode, and I liked it a lot.
It was pretty heavy, huh? The
Yeah,
season 3? Yeah.
and it
And
gets
a lot of
crazier,
them
right?
yeah, a lot of them are really heavy, and there's like 0 jokes in the episodes, but it's really good. I think
That's
it's just full on now. There's no distinction between this and Star Trek as far as the stories and the amount of humor that's in them. Because I watched the original series and there's some humor in that, and there's some humor in Next Generation, and I feel like the Orville has gone from a show that was sort of a comedy slash sci-fi show into now just a sci-fi show. But
right.
it's really good. And the thing with the most recent season, because it was originally on Hulu, now it's on Disney Plus, is the episodes are like an hour and 15 minutes long, an hour and 20 minutes long, with no commercials. And so it's a little bit more of a undertaking for sure. But it's great. And I mean, watch it at your own pace. And if it's something that you want to dedicate your full attention to, that's a great way to look at it. So you have time. We don't even know if there's a season 4, so you have plenty of time to catch up. And I don't think you'll get spoiled on stuff. It's not that kind of show, you know. It's barely serialized. It's not really serialized. So yeah.
Also, Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I've watched the first couple of that. I really like it.
Yeah, I heard that has finished its first season.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for me to download Paramount Plus and watch that. I think I'm going to do that next. Because I heard Picard is kind of like maybe a little too serious and not really anything like the original Next Gen series.
I got a Star Trek buddy who hates Picard. He hates both seasons of Picard, but he's happy because next season it's going to be a bunch of the Next Generation guys together. And hates Discovery. And I like Discovery. At least the first. I like Discovery. I haven't seen the 4th season yet, just because I've been so busy. But Strange New Worlds. It's got a fresh feel.
Yeah, I think I that's the one that has me the most excited. I feel like that one may be a response to sort of the seriousness of Discovery and Picard. That Strange New Worlds is like, you know what? Maybe we should make it enjoyable and fun and lighthearted, or I don't know. It's the one that captured my eye because it wasn't muted colors. It was bright colors, and I like bright colors. You know, if I want to be whisked away to far off galaxies, I don't want it to look like Batman versus Superman.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so the reason that we haven't been doing shows is because I don't know what I'm doing day to day, and for my post-production job, it had been like, Kev, you're next. You're going to be the guy. Pretty sure we're going to bring you in. You're going to have and I was set on it. I was like, okay, let's do it. When this happens, I'll quit Universal and I'll be full-time doing this post-production gig. And then just before it was set to happen, they were like, you know what? Maybe it's a good idea. So everybody has flexibility.
If you're not the guy?
What's that?
If you're not maybe it's better if you're not the guy, but I was the guy, right?
Maybe we should have 3 people and have them a kind of part-time and have them doing maybe a couple of things that when you add them all up, it's like a real job, which I just need stability. And at the park, I was still with post-production, I was still like really struggling to making an effort to make it all work. And I asked my boss, I was like, hey, we're doing this flexibility thing. What if I did Horror Nights as show quality at Universal again? And they were like, I get that you want to do that. It makes sense. But I think things are going to really be picking up for the Christmas time. I think it would be maybe if we hired another person but then they might take away from your hours when you're
Yeah.
done with it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, don't hire that other person. I won't do horror nights. And we'll just keep things going as it is. And then somebody in the post-production gig quit. So I was like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to slide me in to full-time, and they didn't do it. And I was like, this is never going to happen. It's never going to happen with these guys. So I have flipped it. So now, post-production was getting first dibs, and then Universal I would put in whenever I could. And now I'm flipping that. And this is it's a seasonal job, but I am an animated trainer for, I thought it was just going to be just for Nintendo World, Super Nintendo World. I'll be part of the opening team for that, which is amazing. But it might just be for animated characters as well. But I'm going to be a trainer at the park, and I'm super excited. Again, it's just a couple of months. And then things will trickle in when new people come in and they're ready to go out in the park, and I'll watch them and give them notes and stuff like that. So I am extremely excited about that. And then who knows? So I'm back to not knowing exactly what's going to happen, but there's potential. There's a better chance for me of having it work at the park than it is in the post-production gig. So there we go.
When you introduce yourself to trainees, can you say, "It's me, Kevin"?
Oh man, I've got so many. I didn't have that one, but I'm ready for that.
I mean, yeah.
I'm going to let them all know. When I was in 1988, I was 14 years old. And during that Christmas season, I knew where my parents hid the Christmas presents.
Kevin.
And when they went every Sunday, they went to Grandma and Grandpa's, and they were gone for all day. I went up and I took Zelda 2 and Super Mario 2, and I opened them up with a razor blade. I played them for hours. I repacked them.
Kevin.
Yes. I told that to my mom
good.
a couple of weeks ago. She was like, all right. Okay. All right. Well, clever.
Yeah. I found Christmas presents and could tell what they were, but I didn't open them up.
I had to play. I'm not good with the patience.
There was a Christmas where for some reason I wanted a Sega Master System, which was Sega's version of the NES. It was like the 8-bit one. And the Genesis had just come out, but I'm like, no, it's okay. I just want the Master System. And so we actually went to Toys R Us, and which one do you want? I want the Master System. It comes with one controller, but that's okay. I was in the mode. I'm getting this Master System, and I'm not gonna ask for anything else. Not another controller, not anything like that. I just want to make sure this Sega Master System gets secured, because I want to play Hang On and I want to play Afterburner on the Sega Master System. So Christmas rolls around, and my parents hand me a gift. It's a small gift, and I open it up, and it's a Genesis controller. I'm like, oh, and they're like, will that work with the one we got you? I said, I don't think so. Don't worry, we can take it back. Okay, cool. And so then I get, some other presents, and then they hand me the box with the Master System in it, because I must have known about Santa, and they were just like, fuck it, just go with us and tell us what you want. And so I open up the Master System, and it's a Sega Genesis. They had taken the Master System back, got me a Genesis, and gave me that. But also, they got me the Sega Master System adapter for the Genesis, so I can also play the Master System games and the Genesis games. So it's like, holy shit. And on top of that, since they didn't want me tying up the family room, they got me a TV. Like, I had never, like, this Christmas was fucking nuts. And I'm like, how? Like, it was just a little, like, I don't know, 17-inch TV, color, rabbit ears. But I had a Genesis and a TV in like a couple games, and the Master System, a couple games, and I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, this is a lot. And they're like, yeah, well, your sister wanted this stereo, and it turned out that it kind of cost more than a Sega Master System, so we evened it out with the Genesis. And I was like, all right, man, that's great. A TV in my own room. And I think my sister was pissed that I had a TV in my room. So this is what I did behind my parents' back when they weren't watching. Go to bed at 9 o'clock, 9:30, whatever. But I knew at 11 o'clock at night, Channel 9 was Benny Hill. And I had a TV in my room now. So I would get up at 11 at night, turn the brightness all the way down, put a blanket over the TV, and watch Benny Hill every night before I went to bed. And then me and my friends would talk about Benny Hill the next day at school. Never got caught. Monday through Friday, Benny Hill. So
now, at the time, you know, you didn't see the future. You had both the Master and the regular Sega Genesis. I don't know those. I never.
So it was essentially the Genesis is a SNES, and a Master System is a NES. So it's 8-bit, 16-bit.
Okay, so the Master was actually better. The one that you wanted was better.
No, it was less. That was like the NES.
Oh, okay.
And then they gave me the adapter, so it would be like if you were to be able to play Nintendo games on your Super Nintendo.
Yeah, you really got it.
Yeah, it was nuts. I still have that Genesis and Master System thing and my
work?
games. They're plugged right into my TV.
Did they have the same thing as Nintendo, where after a while you'd have to blow into the cartridge? Probably.
Pretty much. It probably didn't work.
Too much.
You don't want to be an animated GIF,
right? Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know if that worked for Nintendo, but if I put a cartridge in and it didn't work, that'd be the go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm excited to be an animated trainer, and I'm extremely excited at the possibility of opening Super Nintendo World. Everything I've seen from Japan, I'm not seeing a whole lot of Zelda stuff. It's just Mario stuff for now. Maybe some Yoshi here and there, but I do not know anything that is officially happening in the park yet. And when I do, I will have to keep quiet about it. But man,
so you do training in, you said animation?
Yeah, I'll be showing like
people how to move.
Yeah,
and like as the characters. So would you say that's like a rehearsal? You do rehearsals?
I was thinking about sticking that segue in there. I was going to say, well, here's the thing, Ralph. If you would have opened up your presents and seen what they had, you could plant seeds in their head and say, boy, oh boy, I sure love this game controller that looks like this and only like this and not like that other thing. God, Nathan for You was such a good show.
Right. And I love it.
Yeah, and this new one, I was like, what's his new thing? And it's kind of still Nathan for You, except for people, not businesses.
Yeah, he's helping people to do regular things in life that might be difficult for them, or they think will be difficult for them. And so he sets it up in a rehearsal that they can practice doing this thing so that they can, when it actually comes to the time to do the thing, it'll be a lot easier and they could see it from every angle and essentially think like Nathan, is think outside the box and see every angle and every possible way to go about doing things. And it's fucking gnarly, dude. It's nuts. This show is nuts.
I do need to say
it's a lot.
The first episode is still my favorite.
And it's the easiest to watch.
It's the easiest to watch, and it sticks to the formula. And I don't know if COVID stopped it from keeping doing that from different prospects, different people to help. Or if it was his plan all along to insert himself into this story.
I have a feeling that once him and his team of writers started seeing what Angela was all about, they may have abandoned stuff and been like, this is it. This lady is fucking nuts. That lady was crazy.
And I want to jump all in on this too, but there is the fact that it is still somewhat of a reality show, and there are NDAs and there are things that people can't say. I think the majority of it is real, but I do think so like in the first episode where what's his name, Corb? It's not
the
Brock.
Guy, I don't remember.
The first guy
the guy who lied about his master's degree.
Yeah,
right. I don't remember his name either.
When it's the day of, and he goes to the restaurant, goes to the bar.
Skeet. His name was, I know his last name was Skeet because they go skeet shooting later. Okay, but yes, yeah.
When they go to the bar, his plan was to come early and get the spot, but someone was already there. Luckily, I prepped him with the story. And when he says, "Oh, my grandma died of, what was it, brain cancer or something like that?"
Something, yeah.
I'm certain that the people that have that table are already plants for him to use that excuse, and especially the way that the guy reacts. Oh, my grandma had that too. Like, okay. No, she didn't. I think that's a plant, and it's a fairly harmless one. It doesn't really like.
But I think that's kind of what's fun, is manipulating these people's realities. So they want that guy to say, "My grandma died of brain cancer, and this was her favorite table." Like, they just wanted to hear him say that. So they probably pulled. If you go back and watch, are the people at the table the actors from the Fielder Method?
Right.
So it would be fun to go back, because they definitely are sprinkled throughout ever since meeting them. You notice them in the backgrounds. You got to go back and watch the first time to see if it's them. So that kind of stuff. I think the majority of it is reality, but they do shoot stuff, I believe, after the fact. Like, there's one point where they find out that Nathan said, if you're going to be a working mom, we need you to have this job shipping stuff from your Etsy store. And she doesn't do that. She hides the shipping containers and doesn't do her job. So she's not doing what Nathan asked her. And so there's a bit where Nathan says, with her not doing her job, what's my mailman to do that I set up? And he has a shot of an actor as a mailman walk up to the doorstep, throw up his arms, and then walk away sad. And it's like that's a joke that must have come like way after, but they're like, that would be funny if we pretend that this whole time Nathan had a fake mailman show up every day. So there's definitely there's stuff that they plan ahead of time. There's like the day of shooting, and then there's stuff that they can do like after. But the way it's edited and the way it's all put together and presented, it's all very, very, very entertaining. I'd love to see some sort of behind the scenes, like real time, when they make the decisions to do what they do and stuff. But I think as far as the people
we get some of that. We get like when he's with the guy who's supposed to stay up all night. It's like, that's a hard cry. That's a hard cry. Hit that button. You're not doing your job.
Oh, yeah. Right. He was sleeping.
It is, yeah, it's neat to see that.
Yeah. And I think it just I'm sure they vet the people ahead of time, like who's going to be the most interesting people. And when they met Angela, they're like, all right, let's do this. Let's go. And then there was that dude, Patrick, whose brother thought his girlfriend was a gold digger. And then that dude just like disappeared. He like the
That
dude
was,
had
yeah.
a breakdown talking to his fake brother as if he was his real brother, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, like if you're on set for that and you're the writers and you just kind of let it go, like you're like, now what? Like it's so they just kind of left it as it was. Like I feel like I don't know. It's the show. It's simple. It's a simple idea, but with Nathan's brain, whatever's going on in his brain, he's able to like make this stuff like elevate it to something that I don't think I ever could.
Yeah.
Like the whole Fielder method, but then rehearsing being part of the class in a whole different recreation as a different guy, and then having a fake Nathan say the exact same lines. Like my brain would never think, oh, that would be fun. That would be funny. Okay, now I'm gonna be this guy. I don't know how they come up with this shit. And then in the middle of it, you just have regular people. It's baffling.
Did you see
It's
that one of the
baffling.
writers is Carrie Kemper? Do you know who that
No,
is?
I don't know who that is.
On The Office, she's the redhead who dates Andy.
Oh, Ellie Kemper?
Yeah. Is that what I'm sorry,
I
if
didn't
I
see
said
that.
something else. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, she's one of the writers. No, wait, is it Ellie or is it Carrie? I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's
Ellie Kemper is on The Office.
okay.
But I want to know more. I don't like. Okay, I want like a behind the scenes thing, but at the same time, I don't, because I kind of just like. I like the whole
Right.
magic of it all, like what's real, what's not. The fucking Jesus Christ, dude! I laugh so hard when there's the passage of time, and to show the passage of time, the fruits in her garden and vegetables in her garden grow, and they just shove store bought fruit and vegetables in the ground with the little
Right.
bands and rubber bands around it and stuff. I'm just like, it's not, it's stupid. It's stupid and it's hilarious. There's like a crazy level of detail, but then the stuff that they just leave stupid is hilarious. Like he needed to finish doing this thing by winter time, and so they made it winter outside, but it's like a perfect snow square around the house and not beyond that. The lengths he goes for a joke is amazing.
You know that Angela's doing cameos now for $140.
No, is she aware now that she's an awful person? It's so hard. Like, okay, she's obviously anti-Semitic. Did she say her favorite movie is Apocalypto just to get to Nathan? Because nobody's favorite movie is Apocalypto. I don't even think, even if you do like Mel Gibson movies, that's probably not your favorite Mel Gibson movie. It might be Braveheart.
Well, for her, it would be Passion of the Christ.
Right. But Apocalypto, of all the things.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's.
I think I don't remember all the episode titles, but Apocalypto was a crazy answer that he didn't expect, and he made it the episode title. Orange juice, no pulp. That's what's his name used to order all the time. That was the episode. Maybe I'm gonna look up those.
Yeah, look them up. Episodes. There's only 6.
Yeah,
there's only 6 episodes, but it felt like I've been watching it for years. Just because when you watch them, they're like a half hour long, but it's like a half hour of just uncomfortable, bizarre. It's like that. It's like the most uncomfortable humor, especially the finale. The finale was just holy cow. Like,
yeah.
But then the kid who's playing the other kid is such a good actor that you're like, oh, this kid's really fucked up. And then he's like, okay, are we done with the scene now? And it's like, okay.
Like, well, yeah, when Nathan says, so you know I'm not your dad, right? Can I just talk to you as you? Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure. Oh, yeah. You're a great scene
It's
partner.
and then the fake Angela, where you can tell they really wanted to amp up her performance and be completely insane and abusive.
So episode 2 is called Scion, and it takes us to the potential love interest for her. And when he's getting ready to spend the night and he's saying, maybe we will sleep together tonight. It's okay. Now, if this is 100% spot on legit, Nathan's responsibility is to say, hey, absolutely not. She said no. And if I bring you into this position, that I would be liable for any terrible shit you do. And
which is probably why he wasn't on the show anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing. It's edited in such a way that you don't see that part of it. So
yeah, he just ups and goes in the middle of the night when he's got to take care of the kid. I just gotta get some sleep. Okay, well, all right. Yeah, man. But I guess going back to the final episode, it was really uncomfortable because I saw your tweet about it being like a horror story and all this stuff before I had seen the episode. So I was like, okay, let's see what's going on. And then I was watching. I was like, oh shit, man.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
But again, like I feel like it could be, I don't know. The fact that they put it on there, there's always that possibility is this is what the story they wanted to tell with this kid actor, Dr. Fart. But I don't know. It's all very entertaining. And the way the show progressed and escalated into complete madness was like a perfect upswing of just events that were just, and it crescendoed with a shot of Nathan's butt crack. And just like I don't know. I feel like it's a punchline to this very serious episode that's full of emotion. So it makes me wonder how much of this actually happened as far as that kid calling Nathan his dad. It's hard. I don't know. But seeing Nathan play the mom and the other actor kid saying, "You mean you're my mom, right?" And Nathan just sitting there and staring. "No, I mean your dad."
Right. I mean that was a little bit like the Willy Wonka at the end of episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know that Nathan's not that crazy. He's having this is his fun bit.
Right. I'm sure the kid is fine. I'm sure that kid is fine. It's just difficult to watch a kid because I don't know. The kid's fine. His friend.
He was having trouble, but he's fine now.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's like a lasting thing that'll go forever. So
no. So we're getting a second season, and I would really like one episode each contained in every episode. But I do understand, like making this show, it's got to be really difficult to pick and find. Okay, what could we do? I'm sure he gets a lot of. Well, it's so weird that Craigslist. Is he really doing these off Craigslist? And how many?
He says it. I don't.
How many responses do you really expect to get off of Craigslist like that?
I don't know, but they're getting. I don't know. This is why they're doing a season 2. Maybe he had 6 episodes figured out, but once this whole Angela thing started, they abandoned those other 5 episodes and just stuck with his story. So maybe he's got those other ones to do for season 2. But yeah, I'd like to see individual episodes. But as far as like a piece of art, a 6-episode piece of art, I think it was really interesting and fun to watch.
Yeah, I would just prefer
Yeah.
the single episodes.
I'm more for the Nathan For You, where he did like 2 things an episode and kind of.
But the callbacks,
Yeah.
using the fielder actors as paramedics and whatnot, that was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So I mean, it worked. It worked for me, and a lot of people are watching this thing, which I didn't. I think maybe other than you, I don't know anybody else who watched Nathan For You.
Well, I'm sure my buddy Travis did. When I posted the link to this, he posted a GIF of you were talking to him about eating feces, and he says he was riffing. I went with it.
Yeah.
Rosanna she watched the show because I wanted to watch the show, but she, she was into it, but she was like, I don't know, she's, like most people,
it's
a little
unnerved
by it. But she really liked the stuff like that, where he said, don't you know anything about sketch comedy? Don't you know about sketch comedy? Do you know how that works? Like, she liked seeing the real Nathan. Or when Nathan said, why don't you make a list of everything that's satanic for me so I make sure I don't do it? Like,
right.
She loved seeing those real moments from him.
Yeah.
Assuming they're real.
Who knows?
I wanted that's part
has she seen Nathan For You?
Yeah, I showed her a sporadic bunch of episodes. I don't think I showed her everything.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's unique.
It's funny because they've got the one about Reign of Terror, the haunted house episode. Mm-hmm. And that's just a bit up north, I think it's in Thousand Oaks, and a lot of people I work with work that event. It's just fun seeing that. It's like, wow, that's right there.
That's cool. Yeah. More Nathan.
Ian asked if either of us saw Prey yet, and I did. There you go.
I saw it too.
I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about of it, but it was cool. It was fun. It was probably
I did an episode of Screen Geeks on Jay's Geeked Out Life channel. We talked about it for an hour, which is tough, but it's good. It's good. Considering I don't like any of the other Predator sequels, I can say that I enjoyed this one.
I know you did a show about Love and Thunder, and I didn't watch your show. I really liked Love and Thunder.
Yeah. What'd you think of the goats? I laughed every single time. Yeah. People seem hung up about the goats, and I'm like,
really?
They're fun. They're goats.
It's like a crazy ass movie, and you're upset about the goats. They only got like 30 seconds of screen time.
Yeah, I really like that movie.
I've saw it a couple of times, and I don't think I've seen anybody notice this yet. And maybe when it comes out on Disney Plus, more people will. But when they're talking, and when they got the whole town together, and they're like, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do," and you hear the guys writing on the whiteboard. I was like, "Hey, that's making a noise. Can you stop that?" There's a couple of quick shots of the whiteboard. On the whiteboard is the entire Thor Love and Thunder movie in pictures from beginning to end. It's the entire movie. So keep an eye out for it when you watch it on Disney Plus. Pause it.
All right.
So
I'll have to check that out.
Very funny. But,
that sounds awesome.
So since I'm going to be not working Horror Nights, this is the first time since 2016 I'm not working Horror Nights. We're going to do them all. We're going to do Horror Nights. We're going to go to Scary Farm. We're going to, I guess the Haunted Hayride is supposed to actually be really good. Probably can go to Six Flags. Looking forward to a fun couple of months coming up.
Halloween season.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm not super into that stuff.
Oh, I love it. Have you had anything pumpkin yet? The pumpkin stuff is coming out.
No, I'm not really a fan of like pumpkin. I don't like coffee, so that's out. And I don't really, you know what I do like? You know what I do like? Apple cider shit.
Sure.
Give me that. I love
Yeah,
apple
yeah.
cider. But yeah, I'll eat pumpkin stuff. I'm sure there's a pumpkin thing I like. Oh, there is. So at Polly's Pies, which is a local pie place here in Southern California, they do, you know, like Dutch apple pies that have like the crumble on top. Well, Polly's does something similar with pumpkin pie, but it's the same kind of crumbly top with maple in it. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
is very good. So there's that. That's the one pumpkin thing I look forward to every year is the pumpkin maple crunch pie at Polly's. But other than that, I mean, I'm good. I can't think of any other fall things that I'm into, but I'll take some apple cider, something or others. Maybe like Dunkin' has, I think it has an apple cider donut that's really good.
Oh, that sounds right.
It's like a jelly donut with like apple in it or something. I don't know. But I was telling Stevie, like, I'm kind of like, it's August and like Halloween shit's popping up. And I'm like, the good thing about Halloween is it's at the end of October. So you kind of have this excuse to just spend the whole month doing Halloween shit. But now it's like fucking all of August, all of September, all of October. And then there's people that celebrate like halfway to Halloween. And it's like, fuck, when is it not Halloween? Like if there's a lot, if there's too much of it, it's not special, is what I'm saying.
I understand that. But I'm plenty good with all of it. Or plenty good with all
But
of it.
for you, especially because you've been missing Halloween stuff because you're working, so you have like several years to make up for it. So,
and I obviously I've spoken about how much I'm excited to do the trainer stuff. But when I leave the park and I see all of the Horror Nights people getting together and planning their stuff, it's like, oh, there's show quality. Good to see you guys. Have fun this year. There is a big part of me that's like, shit, man. But
but now you'll get to take some Christmas pictures in front of Bates Motel.
Christmas pictures?
Yeah, you said you're getting ready for Christmas? The Christmas season coming up, and Christmas is a big deal. Do they do anything Christmassy for?
Oh yeah. There's Grinchmas. I'm gonna audition for a bit, not for the Grinch, because the guys who play the Grinch are just spectacular.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try. And I'd have to, maybe I wouldn't have to shave. I'm gonna try to audition a original character. We'll see what happens. I probably won't get
audition
it.
An original character?
It doesn't have to be a character from the movie. I'm going to be Professor Who. I'm going to be Professor Who. See what happens.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Nobody's stealing. Okay.
Oh my god. Okay. You'll be the first. The first professor.
Right. Or not. Likely not. But it pays really well. It's a solid month of really well-paying work. And that's kind of what I need right now. I need a new car. I need this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
So I'm hustling. Always hustling. So we'll fit in another episode where we can get one.
Somewhere. Yeah, we can do it.
When does your big project start?
It was going to be September, and then I was gonna try to say why, but I can't say why, but October. But I mean, my work on it has already begun, like really, really working on it. And it's a little, I feel a little nervous because it's not something I've ever done, but the guy who I'm working with has done it a bunch. So I'm trying to keep that in mind and just be at ease that he's going to be doing the majority of this stuff. And I am going, and the stuff I've been doing has, I think, been going well. And I think we've got a solid foundation on what we're working on. And it puts me at ease, but at the same time, there's this looming thing where October it's going to start really happening and be a real thing. But I've been trying to do as much as I could to make it easier on me, and by doing so, it feels really real. So that's fun.
Do you know when you're able to announce what you're working on?
I will know as soon as I'm told. I have no idea if I have a hunch that we may be able to announce it when we start working on it. I think that's the thing.
Okay.
Because the thing is, we don't want to show our hand before we get started.
Sure.
Because we don't want someone else doing this before we do. So,
all right. Well,
if you want to know what the fuck I'm talking about, you can go to my Patreon page because everybody knows over there.
That's how I knew.
Yeah, it's yeah. So yeah. I'm excited for it, and once it's announced, it's all anyone's going to be hearing about. So soon enough. Yeah, Mark knows what it is. Mark's on Patreon.
Ian says that he's taking his kids to HHN at Universal Orlando. I wonder how old your kids are. If you can share that with us. I'm sure you know what they can take, but sometimes some of that stuff is pretty scary.
Hey, you might be walking down the street and there might be a Frankenstein's monster just wandering around. I did that once. And it wasn't even Halloween time. There's a Frankenstein just walking around.
And a Dracula.
I think
there's a maze for the weekend. The musician, the weekend. I don't know what that. What do we got here? 13 and 15. Okay, yeah, they'll be into it. Good. Yeah. There's a maze for the weekend at Hollywood. I don't. All I can think about is the Super Bowl video where he was going through the mirrors. But I don't know what else would do with that. There's a Blumhouse Black Phone and Freaky Maze, which Freaky I thought was a curious addition because it's. Are you familiar with that movie?
Yeah, it's Vince Vaughn and what's her name?
Yeah, and they switch bodies, and he's a serial killer.
Yeah,
but Killer Clowns is back. That one's so much fun. There's a Scarecrow one. There's. What's Mark asking? Yeah. That's my guess. His maze at the Super Bowl. All right. Well, I'm excited to hear when you can start talking about your gig. That's gonna be fun.
Should be soon. Hopefully soon. Because I'd like to start talking. I created a whole TikTok. There's a Casino Skunk Productions TikTok account that I created just for this project. And all my travels, that I'm doing, and all the people that I'll be talking to, and all the fun stuff. All right,
well, it's coming around the corner. At some point, we're all gonna know, or you can just find out now at Ralph's Patreon page.
Yeah, I think on my Star Wars show, I did mention that I am producing a documentary. I will not be discussing anything further on this show, but that is what's going on. So yeah, go to my TikTok. I guess I haven't TikToked before, but once we start going into production in October, and once it's announced what this project is, you'll be excited, and I'll be able to talk more. But yeah, I can say that much. And I'll get no further information. So little bit of an exclusive thing, but it's fucking nuts. It's fucking nuts.
Well, I think that's a good way to end it for this episode. Looking to the future.
Yeah, everybody, again, go to @AlrightPodcast on Facebook and Twitter to find out when we're going live, like Mark and Ian did. There's someone else up here. I'm not really sure who Travis is. and I'm not sure.
Travis is my buddy. He was at the wedding, actually. He flew out for the wedding.
Oh.
Assuming it's the same Travis.
It's after party at Target. Licorice and Mountain Dew. As opposed to we went to Cantor's, I think he went to Target to get Mountain Dews and licorice.
He's coming out for Horror Nights too.
That's cool. I've never been to Horror Nights. I've been to Scary Farm or Halloween Haunt. But yeah, I haven't been to that other stuff. So maybe Stevie likes it. So if you're looking
Probably
for someone to claw you guys, we can go. All right, man.
Check out our
it was good chatting.
You'll see when we're on again, because it's not a regular thing. We'll make a point to let you know.
It's not. And Ian, if you try to request one tomorrow, chances are we won't do one the following day.
Sorry, but thanks for nudging us again.
Yeah, it definitely. It's like, yeah, I remember that. I remember doing those. All right.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye. Oh, I gotta hit end broadcast.